My father was born on the east side. He was born in 1924. He had three brothers. One was nifted right away. He had Uncle Yossi and Uncle Harry. This is Bubby and Zaidy Greenberg. This is my father, and this is one of his brothers. I'm not sure which one is what. My father went to yeshiva, went to Yaakov Yosef, which was back then RJJ, or Sam Sefer back then, and he was in AMTJ. He was in Moish at the age of 17 or 18. I know that he spoke only Yiddish in the house. The first English book that he read was when he was in first and eighth grade. He was in the Army, in the United States Army. He wanted to enlist. His mother didn't let him, but they eventually drafted him. He was in boot camp, and they needed engineers back then. They took an aptitude test, and they sent him to MIT. They said he was going to become an engineer. He was there in school for 3 years, I think an electrical engineer, but I'm not sure. And after 3 years, the Army decided that they didn't need any more engineers, whatever the case was, and they dropped the program, and they enlisted him back into boot camp. And in South Carolina, I think it was, in training camp, it was an accident occurred, and then he got discharged from the Army, so he never went overseas. If I'm not mistaken, a tank hit him. He wasn't physically fit anymore. He got a pension the rest of his life.
Zaidy was in the diamond line. He never became an engineer. He went through engineering school for 3 years. The government decided to cancel the program. He went back into the Army, and then he got discharged. And then he contemplated going back to school to become an engineer, but the only offer that he was able to get was to go to Australia and get paid $100 a week. It was nothing, still lousy, and there was no Jewish community in Australia, so he just passed. Eventually he became a very good blocker. That means a person that used to cut the stones. And he also was not a broker. He dealt with them. He bought rough, he cut them, and he sold them. My father, when I was growing up on Shabbos, I learned with Teddy Abrams. He learned Masechta Sukkah Be'in. It took him, I think, 6 or 7 years. Zaidy woke up back then on Shabbos. I think the minyan started at 6:30. And he learned, and he finished davening at 8. He came home, he had Kiddush, and then he learned from 8:30 till 10:30 or 11 o'clock with the Sklavrusa. He loved learning with him. In Zaidy's ladies' years, he also learned with Uncle Yitzchak Ramban. My father loved the Ramban, Chumash.